I'm sharing my screen. Okay, I think it's visible to you.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So network topology means what? How these systems or computers are connected to have a particular defined communication with them. So that term is topology is having various types. That means it's a layout, you can say, how the devices, the peripheral devices, and the systems, various systems which are placed at various places, how they are connected, and how the communication between them occurs. So basically, it's a connection between two or more computers. So there are various types. First one is bus topology. Bus topology means what? Like bus. Bus, so many people are there and bus stops at one place and the passengers, they get out or they come in. So that you can understand. Here the bus means a single cable, a single connection through which the various computers are connected like this. This is the picture. There are various computer A, B, C, D, E, F. They are connected through a single main cable. Now this bus topology, here the communication is done only in one direction. Data transfer can be done only in one direction if they are configured in such a way that the communication will be done only in one direction. If there is a two-way communication, the data gets spoiled uh, or corrupt or distorted. So only one direction the data transferred will be possible. And this cable, which is the main cable, which is the single cable, this is called the backbone cable. Because if there is any fault in this cable, then the computer connection or this topology will get faulted. So advantages are what? This is a very um,
Can you repeat, ma'am, the last one once?
if there is any fault in this cable, then the connection will be get disrupted, right? So the communication or the data transfer will be disrupted if there is any fault in the cable. All right.
Okay.
Now, because it here only single cable, so the cost of installation will be less and easier to connect the computers because very limited amount of computers can be connected which are placed near to each other, and because it is a single cable and the distances between the computers are less, so the speed is faster. All right, high speed, easier to install, and the hardware components which are required to make such topology, they are easily available. So this is easier to establish. But disadvantages are what? Because here only the cable is used, so the length of the cable will be very large if the distance between the computers or number of computers are more, and it is not advisable for the larger network. Only a small network can be made using this topology. Now if there is any fault in a cable, it affects all the computers. All right, the data transfer will be get affected whether it is one computer or the last computer. So here in this topology, the two computers where the data transfer is possible or can be made. But if both computers are interacting, the data gets spoiled, the data get affected. So the transmission, data transmission only in one direction can be done. So there are some issues using this bus topology. And if you connect more computers using a single cable, then the speed get affected. The security, it is not very secure network. The second one is ring topology. Ring topology looks like this. Here, one computer is connected to next, second is connected to third, but there is no direct connection between one and third or fourth. All right, adjacent computers are connected like a ring, and the last computer is connected to the first computer. So the nearest, the adjacent computers, they can communicate directly. And in this also, the data transfer will be only in one direction. And whatever data one computer receives, it just transfer to the other computer, adjacent computer, not the next one. Now, what are the advantages? Here, the cable which is used is twisted pair cable. We'll study later then how the cables, how many types of cables are there, or how the connections can be made between the systems. So this twisted pair is also not a very costly cable. It is very easily available cable. And because physically the computers are connected with each other and they are not very far from each other, so data transfer, the speed is also very good, and it is easier to manage this type of topology. And the setup cost is also very less, and it is easier to set up such type of topology. And you can increase the number of computers which are connected in a ring. You can add more computers in this topology also. But the advantage is, again, if there is any fault in a cable, the whole network will get affected. And if there is only if there is any problem in the functioning of a single computer, the whole network will get stopped sometimes. So troubleshooting will be sometimes difficult. And addition, and if you want to delete one computer, that is again create some problems in the whole topology. This, if you are adding more computers, the network speed will be affected. It may get slower, something like that. Now the next one is star topology. Star topology is like this. There is a single device which we call hub. Now in this device, through this device, each computer is not directly connected with each other, but through this device they can transfer the data. This device is called hub. We'll study later what are the different types of hardware networking devices. So this central device, through this central device, the systems or the computers, they make communication, or they transfer data or receive the data from other device. They are not directly connected. So this the computers, the star topology, the hub is, you can say, it acts as a server, and all the computers, they acts like a client. So this is called star network, and it is frequently used topology. Advantages are it is again easier, comparatively easier to maintain star topology. But if there is any problem in a single cable, it affects whole network, and it is easier to set up. You can add more computers into it without affecting any like data transfer or any speed, because they are not directly connected, they are connected to a single hardware device. And here there is no collision of data, and it is easier to detect the fault if there is any fault. So you can easily find out which link is get affected, which computer is getting affected. And the speed is also very, very high. So it's a good topology which is used frequently. Now, disadvantages, the installation charges is more in case of star topology. And if there is any problem in hub, then all the computers, the work of all the computers will get affected. The next one is tree topology. Here, the picture is shown here. Tree topology, where it is something like a tree, a structure of a tree where there is a single root and many, one trunk and various branches. So here, all the computers are like branches. And so it's like a hierarchical topology. The other term which is used for tree topology is hierarchical topology. And in this tree topology, it has some advantages of star topology and bus topology, some characteristics of both the topologies. So the first computer, the primary computer, is called the root computer, through which the various computers are connected, or you can say the various networks get connected. Now, this topology is mainly used in WAN, that is the wide area network between the various countries. This network is formed if there is a single server. Various computer systems can be connected through a single one. This is also in this type of topology, there is a parent-child hierarchy. In tree topology, there is computers in which uh, the connections are established like this. A root computer, it is connected by this two, and this computer is connected by various other systems through a particular uh, network which we studied earlier. So maintenance and management is easier, error detection and correction is easier here, and expansion is also easier in case of tree topology, and it is a secured topology and reliable topology. Now, if there is any fault in one computer, it is not affected the whole topology. So that is the main advantage. And disadvantages is that if there is any problem in a computer, it's difficult to solve it. Installation charges is very high here. Configuration is somewhat difficult, how to configure and the various computers, how to connect, how to make the T topology configuration is somewhat difficult to design. And the cable which is required is also um, very, very large length of cable is required here. Another one is mesh topology. Mesh topology looks like this. Here, the number of systems which are in this topology, they are connected with each other. All single computer is connected to the other computers which are there in the mesh topology. So they establish their connection through a channel, and they can make direct communication with each other. So this is generally used in wireless networks.
Can you
So
repeat what you said?
here, each system is connected to rest of all the systems directly. See here, this computer is connected to rest four computers, right? And this computer is again connected to all the computers. So they do direct communication, direct data transfer, or direct reach to each one computer which is in this mesh topology. And the connection here, it is generally used in wireless networks, and they are a reliable topology, this one is, and they can manage high traffic, and they are secure. And if there is any problem in a single computer, the whole network doesn't get affected. The communication here in mesh topology is easier because each one is connected to rest all the systems. So the data transfer speed is also very, very high. Disadvantage is that the maintenance is somewhat difficult, and to manage and to maintain it is somewhat difficult as compared to other topologies, and it is costly also, and it is complicated also. It is a complex process. So these are the some topologies. So you just need to remember the topologies, what does it mean, and how the connections are made. Not much into it, or name of the topology. Sometimes they'll give some names and ask, is there any, how many, what are the names of the topology? They'll give some options, A, B, C, D, and an A, B, or C, D, or A, B, C, something like that. They'll give some name, and you have to choose the correct option. Now, the next is network devices. Network devices are again some hardware devices which are used to, connect the various systems, to communicate with them, and to connect the various networks also. So there are few names here written on your board. So we'll discuss one by one. The first one is hub. Hub is basically a networking device which is used to communicate with all the devices, and this hub is used uh, on LAN, local area network. If some local area, there are various local area network. Picture is not given here. Okay. So this is, you can say, a place of convergence, you can say, where the data arrives from one or more direction, and then it is forwarded out in one or more direction. So it is a common connection point, you can say, for the networked computers and other devices also. So to connect devices in a lane, this hub is used. And here it is written, so maximum number of computers that you can connect with hub is here. It is given 12 computers you can connect using a hub. Now there are some protocols through which these devices communicate with each other. So one of the protocol is OSI model. We'll see later in next class what are those models. So there are very hierarchical model. They are having different layers. So this hub communicates in the first layer of OSI model, that is the physical layer. Physically, they are connected with, the connections are made between the devices. And this is non-intelligent device, means how much or whatever form of data they receive, they just transfer, they just broadcast to all the computers. They don't make changes, or if they don't they never check whether there is error or the data get corrupted or weak signals. They just transfer or broadcast whatever they receive. So that's why they are called non-intelligent devices. Now the next one is switch. Now, some of the drawbacks of hub, that they transfer the data as they receive. It is this drawback get improved in switch. So switches are more or less like a hub, but it receives the data and it checks the data. If there is any error or any deterioration, it just check, and accordingly it transfers, it stores also, check also, and then they forward it to the destination. So they receive the data in the form of packets. So one packet of information, then second, then third, then fourth, like that. So that's why they are called this technique is called packet switching. So the transfer of this data, the speed is comparatively, they are faster. And in OSI model, they communicate in layer 2. The second layer is, the first layer is physical layer. The second layer is data link layer. So they work in the second layer. So maximum number of ports in switch, it is 48 ports. So 48 terminals, 48 systems can be connected. And then the third one is repeater. Repeater, again, they are the hardware devices which are used if the network is very large, or the long distance network, then the signal gets weak. So repeater, what it does, they receives the weak signal and they amplifies it, they boost the strength of the signal, the original signal, and then they transmit it to the uh, other part of the network. So the range of the transmission will get increased, and the corruption, the data get the corruption, the strength of the signal will get uh, not get affected, much affected by the distance if there is a repeater in between. Then there is a bridge. Bridge is used when two or more lanes uh, have to be connected with each other. So bridge is that network which runs on the same protocol as the various lanes are following. So this is again a very efficient and very useful type of network, because it again helps to communicate between the various lanes of a single organization. If the organization is having an area of 2, 3, 4 kilometers. So there are 2, 3, 4 buildings. So there are different lanes in a building. So you can communicate with each other through using this network, which is called bridge. Now modem. Modem is nothing but it's a abbreviated form of modulation and demodulation. So modulation is what, and demodulation is what we use in our homes. A hardware device, a single device which we use. It is generally used when we use telephone lines for the digital to connect to get access to the internet. So here the modulation means, because our system, that computers, they only understand digital data, but the signal which is flowing in the wires or the electrical, in the form of electrical signals, all are analog in nature. So we need some device which converts this analog to digital and digital to analog. So modulator converts digital data to analog, and then demodulator again, when we feed it to the computer, it converts analog to digital data. So that way, this is again a very important device when we use cable to access internet or to access other networking devices. So
Ma'am,
that,
modulator converts data into signals and demodulator converts signals into data.
sorry.
The vice versa. Modulator, does it convert the data into signals?
Yes, modulator converts data into signals.
And
Digital,
demodulator converts signals into data.
yes, yes, yes. Demodulator just does the inverse of modulator. Okay, then the second one, the other one is router. Now, what is router? It is again a networking device, and it is the important component. Router is inter-networking device, and it works in the third layer of OSI model, which is the network layer. Now, what it does, it just connects the different networks to establish a communication network, a bigger communication network. And one more important thing is it just guide the data to follow a certain easiest route. So just it guides whatever data is coming, it is meant to which particular path. So it just guides the data to follow a certain path so that the data will reach to its destination faster. Like in van, it is used, not in lane, it is used in van. So because in van there are the number of data, or you can say the signals are very uh, fast, and very large amount of data transfer can be done using a router. And or you can say the routers are nowadays they are available comparatively at lower prices, and can be used for connecting two or more computers together in home network also. So the data can be exchanged between the computers, or you can say all the computers in the network can access the internet also. Speed is also given here. Minimum it is 10 Mbps and maximum it is 100 Gbps. And here router is having maximum 8 ports. So 8 systems can be connected to this device. Now there is transmission media. Transmission media means how you are connecting the two devices, or how you are accessing to the internet, or in what way you are communicating between the various devices. So there are different mediums. So that is transmission media. Now, what type of transmission media you are using or we have to use, it depends upon the place where you are using, the environment or the surroundings also. It gets, this is the
Can you
deciding.
repeat what you said about transmission media, ma'am?
Like they are cable or wireless, how the two systems are connected with each other. Cables we earlier studied through a certain cable. So there are various types of cables also through which the two devices are connected. So that is the transmission media. How
Basically,
you
the
are
medium,
communicating.
the cables or the medium through which the data is transmitted.
Yes, they are the channels, right? They are the channels through which the signals or data is transferring and reaching to from source to the destination. So there are basically two types, guided and unguided. It is written here in Hindi. So guided media means some physical body, and unguided media means not physical, through the rays or through the wireless media, you can say, through some waves the data transfer is being done. So in guided media, there are three types of cables which we use. First one is twisted pair cable, then coaxial cable, and fiber optic cable. It is written in Hindi, I think. Here it is written coaxial, twisted pair, and optical fiber cable. So coaxial cables are like this. Coaxial means they are having a center or point, a focus point, and all the cabling or wire network will be around those a single cable is round in shape. This is the inner conductors. There are various wires here, and then insulating material here, and then it is braided outer conductor layer. So two types. Coaxial means twice the cable, the conducting wires are used here, and the outermost is the protected covering. This is again an insulator. So in between two layer there is a insulated material. And coaxial cable, the normal cable which we are using, it is having some limitation, some limited amount of data can be transferred, but through coaxial cable, large amount of data can be transferred because there are many wires are there in single cable. Twisted pair cable looks like this. There are having various pair of conducting wires, and they are twisted, and then another pair, then another pair, and then whole this insulated pairs, they are twisted, and then they are covered by a shield. So this can also be used as a guided media to transfer the data from one place to another place. Then optical fiber cable, this is again a very useful, and its capacity is very, very large because there are very fine, like a thread of like our hair. They are having such thickness. So they are made of glass, and the signals here, they are in the form of light, laser beams, or infrared sometimes they use. So this type of glass core, they are made of glass and they are insulated. Each one is insulated and then they are covered. Like there are so many, you can say thousands of uh, single glass wires. They are insulated and then they form a single cable. So within a cable, there are many wires are there. So here we use light waves to transfer the data, laser beams, and they are connected with LEDs. So this is the another transmission media. And unguided medias, there are waves, radio waves we use for the transmission to connect different devices. Radio transmission, radio waves are used. Microwave transmission, microwaves are used. And infrared transmission, infrared waves are used. Like when you control your TV using a remote, some types of infrared radiations will get emitted, and then the communication between your TV and your remote will be established. So you can do, or you can change your channel or guide the hardware to work as you desire. So these waves are you know this is the very good way of communicating between the devices which are very far from each other. Now these rays and how they go using the antennas, your device is having an antenna, it get transmitted and captured by some larger group of antennas, then some disk is used in case of satellite communication. So that way the devices or the computers or any other uh, you know the two systems get interaction and get communication with each other using the unguided transmission media. I think this much is enough for you. Here there is a comparison, so we'll just look into it. What are the characteristics of these guided transmission media? That is twisted pair, coaxial, and optical fiber. Twisted pair, the installation and implementation is simpler and easier. And in coaxial, it is relatively difficult, but not much difficult because various types of connectors are uh, required in case of coaxial cable. And optical fiber cable, it is somewhat difficult installation and implementation. In twisted pair, external magnetic field get affected due to the external magnetic field. This is all technical terms you need not to remember. Bandwidth in twisted cable, it is very less. So very limited amount of data you can transfer. And coaxial cable, somewhat moderately high bandwidth, so more amount of data can be transferred. And optical fiber cable, it is having very high bandwidth, and the accuracy, security is very high in case of optical fiber cable. But twisted cable pair installation is easier. In case of coaxial, it is somewhat uh, fairly easy, but not that easy as twisted pair. And optical fiber cable, it is difficult to install because the length of the optical fiber cable, to connect two optical fiber cable, you need spatial devices which are very costly, and to align those optical fiber cable, two cables, the alignment will be very difficult. So very precision is required, and for that the devices which has to be used are very, very costly. Twisted pair, the low data rate, it is moderately and very high data rate in case of optical fiber cable. Optical fiber cable may attenuation or distortion will be very, very less. And in case of twisted pair, it is very high. But in coaxial, it is in between the two.
What is attenuation, ma'am?
Sorry.
Attenuation.
Attenuation means distortion, you can say. The signal get, distorted means weak, it becomes weak or corrupted by some noise. That way you can understand.
Okay.
Okay. Now the unguided media, radio waves, microwaves, and infrared waves. So radio waves are generally omnidirectional, like we receive signals from the radio stations, FM stations, and microwaves, they are unidirectional in nature. And infrared, they are also unidirectional. In one direction, they travel. All right, they are so they are not used for omnidirectional transmission. Radio waves penetration will be at low frequency, and they can penetrate through solids. And this type of thing, I don't think you require. Frequency range, you roughly you should know what frequency comes under radio waves. So frequency range from 3 kHz to 1 gigahertz will be radio waves, and microwaves 1 gigahertz to 300 gigahertz. Giga means 10 raised to 6. Okay, so that number of cycles per second, the frequency will be like that. So infrared, it will be much higher, 300 gigahertz to 400 gigahertz. Security point of view, so radio waves, they offers poor security, they microwaves medium security, and infrared higher security. Attenuation means that the distortion of a signal will be high in case of this. Radio waves, in microwaves, it is in between, and in case of infrared, it is very, very less. So high precise reception of signal you can get. So I think that much is enough. So here the picture is given for various networking devices. Modem. NIC is network interface.
Ma'am, the picture looks very distorted.
Okay, it's not coming very here in my screen. It is visible properly.
Can all the others see it clearly?
Is it clear?
Artiji, are you there?
No, ma'am, not visible.
Okay, I'll share it again. Now is it visible? Okay. So NIC card, on earlier devices, this networking, if you want to access internet or some spatial services, you need a network interface card. But nowadays it is inbuilt in your system provided by the company. So,
Why is it used, ma'am?
sorry.
Why is it used? Can you repeat that? Network interface.
Network interface card to access the network, to access the internet services. Earlier it was like you have to purchase and then you have to, install in the computer. But nowadays it is inbuilt in your in the motherboard of your computer system. Hub we discussed, it's a central device. Switch we discussed, router we discussed. It is again a internetworking device to connect two or different networks. Modem we discussed, repeater we discussed. So all we discussed cable also. It looks like this twisted pair. They are in pair and twisted, and then they combined together in a single cable, and the covering in the single covering. They are stable together. The name is enough. Now web generation is also a small topic, so we'll discuss it now. Web generation, earlier
We
days.
have a class coming up, ma'am, in 5 minutes.
Okay, you are having another class,
Yes, yes, ma'am. Yes.
so you need 5 minutes break.
Yes, we need a break. Yes, ma'am.
Actually, ma'am
Okay,
message.
so
Hello, excuse me.
yes.
Actually, ma'am messaged that I think today no class.
Is it
Message.
then? You can continue, ma'am. If there's no class at
Could you
4.
please check Usha ji or
Yes,
once
yes,
again?
I'll check and confirm. Just give me a second.
Yeah, you please check the WhatsApp.
Okay, it's a small topic, only 2 pages.
Ma'am, I think she confirmed that there's no class, so we can go ahead.
Okay, so we'll complete this small topic and then continue from this model tomorrow protocols. So as the time passes, we are now in the third generation, third web. So earlier it was web 1, then web 2, then web 3. So web 1 is from 90s to 2000, the time period. That is the static read only web pages. Matlab only text were there and you can just go to that page and read those pages. No interaction, no like to and fro, no. Only one directional. You can just read whatever is there, and that is also in the form of text. In Web 2, it is information centric and interactive, right? Widely read and you write means you can communicate, you can also put some text into that. And nowadays, it is user centric, decentralized, private, and secure. The like in Web 2, it is from 2000 to 20s, and from 20s onwards, it is Web 3, where the AI came into existence, artificial intelligence. It can think, it can guide you. Such softwares are there, they can speak like you. And if some body is there, they can move like a human being. So all that forms of come under the Web 3 generation. So there are the characteristics which will be there on the page. Let's see some more. So Web 1 is where the internet came into existence. So it is during 1989. So the first website, it has only number of websites which are there in internet when it gets started. There are only 1 lakh around in all over the world, and that is only read only web. So you can just read whatever text were formatted there, whatever information is there, it is in the text form only. So there were e-commerce websites also, but it is very like limited access were there. So no much content, you can't post anything. And after that, there came Web 2, where the it's not only read but you can write also. So it's a like a communication to and fro. Um, Communication will be there, was there. So you can edit some Wikipedia was there, so you user can edit, user can give its their feedback, or there some you can put your knowledge or data. So the main feature of Web 2 was cloud computing. So now the websites will be was there 100 million websites in Web 2. So the number of users get increased by multiple folds. So nowadays we are using Web 2 also. So where we can use the Web 2 generation, Web 2 series. Hmm. Like Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Insta, WhatsApp, all those platforms are provided by Web2 generation. Insta, Reels, TikTok, and all those. And blogs you can write, you can read, online education, lectures. You can listen the lectures, and you can also, upload your lecture or your creativity on the internet. Zoom meeting, WhatsApp, like Google Meet, we are using email, e-commerce, like Amazon, Flipkart, and all cloud services. So all those comes in Web 2. Now Web 3 from 20s to still it is going on. A new feature has been added, but which is artificial intelligence. So the direct website will be Web 3 based. It is. So user now know the result, and what to be shown, what not to be shown. That can also be fixed by the artificial intelligence. They can read, they can write by for you as per your need, if it is intelligent enough. So like Apple Siri, you can communicate direct like a person you are talking. So like that you can communicate with them, Apple Siri or Alexa or Google Assistant. So they can hear your voice, understand what you want, and do the job accordingly. So they are voice recognition software. So they listen your voice, they hear your voice, and they show the result. Now, Frame Alpha is again a communicational knowledge engine which answers your questions whenever you can access the Google search engine, because there are multiple pages, so it shows which one is the best for you. So that way, the generation will be.
Ma'am, what does this do, ma'am? This wolf from alpha?
Wolfram Alpha is also a knowledge engine, communicational knowledge engine.
I mean, can you try
Like
to give a more relevant example so that we can understand? Communication.
when
What is
you,
a communication knowledge engine?
yes, communicational knowledge engine. So
Communication or
you
computational? Computational, right? Ma'am?
computational knowledge engine, yes. When you like in Google, when you search India versus England, so there are related so many sites, like it related to matches or some conferences, or the geographical area, or the vegetation, rivers, and all that. So
This belongs to Web3, ma'am.
sorry.
Wolfram Alpha, does this belong to Web 2 or Web 3?
Web 3.
Oh, this is also AI based.
Yes.
Okay.
It is more, relevant as compared to the search engine or ordinary search engine like Google. It gives much clear, it gives answer to your questions, much relevant answers or options it can display.
How about Chat GPT? Is that also Web 3 and does it come under a computational knowledge engine?
Which one?
Chat GPT.
That I have to search Chat
Okay.
GPT.
Okay.
Okay, so that much is enough for today, I think.